G'day guys, it's Crypto Trader Vader here, and here for another Poloniex trading journal, where I go through the top coins here on Poloniex and have a little bit of a look and see what's going on with the chart patterns, see if we can try and make some bold claims, and see if any of those claims come off that I've made from last week. So, thanks for stopping by. If you want to skip to your favorite coin, I'm going to highlight each of the coins on the left-hand side of the screen there. I'm going to make it green as we go along so you can scrub through the video if you care to. Move that down slightly for you. Alright, great. So let's get into it. Arter. Let's make sure we've got the... Just move that around and move this to a 4-hour candle. I like this. So we had, huge drop in Bitcoin. The last stream that I did was around the 17th, so right before this huge drop-off in ADA, and I imagine that's probably around the same time that Bitcoin dropped off. And of course, we've got some interesting patterns emerging now. The 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, we've got a 1, 2, 3 bottom there, broke out. It's come back to rest on it, so that's a buy signal there. We have the... this is almost like a bit of a head and shoulders, really, loosely, but that definitely looks bullish. Definitely looks like it's starting to set up and turn around, and that's why I wanted to come back and start doing these live streams, because they definitely look like it's starting. I'm going to give that a generally bullish. And we'll see what is going on there. Bitcoin Cash now. So last week I said on Bitcoin Cash, generally bearish until 0.065, and that was definitely wrong. Look at that move. Now this was on the... Oh, of course, yeah. No, silly me. Of course, we did a split with Bitcoin Cash. I'll have to rejig that one and yeah, chuck in the splits. I think it was Bitcoin Cash, ABC, and SV. So we'll skip that for now, and we'll look at those two a bit later on. BitShares now. All these lines I'll put on here. Big drop off. Same time around the end of the last fortnight's stream, big drop off there, and now of course a slow build up where the market is trying to decide on whether it's going to go higher or go lower. Does seem like we've got some kind of higher lows, so every time that the price comes lower, it's a little bit higher than the last time, which is definitely a good sign. It's kind of hitting this level. So it's a bit of an ascending triangle, which possibly means that if it does, it's broken out once or twice as a fake out breakout, but it hasn't gone lower, which is great. So if we can get a stronger breakout, then we might see the price kind of do one of these little bends, one of these little waves, which would be interesting. BitShares. Really, we need a break above the kind of 1245 sats, and then we can say that that's going to be a bullish signal. Break above 1245 sats equals a bull run. Let's have a look at clams. Fortunately, clams I didn't make a great call on, and it just went absolutely through the roof. Let's delete that and take a look at this chart. So I can see this little drawing here that I've popped on there, thinking, well, it's either gonna go one or two ways as it breaks out of this descending triangle, and it did break up higher, and of course has yeah, it's on a huge pump at the moment. So where is it going to go from here? Well, who fucking knows? I don't know that one. I'm gonna put a watch on that because it looks very unsure. I mean, these pumps, they happen fairly regularly. It's difficult to kind of say. I don't know where I put this line here. So that is definitely not a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. It's hitting new lows. So that's a bearish sign. Last fortnight rather, was the 17th, so somewhere around this vicinity. And yeah, it did not move higher, moved lower. So that's a bearish signal. I'll pop on there that I'm generally bearish on that one. Until next fortnight. So we'll look at Dash coin now. Dash is one of these ones that is a masternode coin, so it tends to move more with more volatility because people kind of sell in large amounts. You know, people are selling their whole masternode. Of course, there's always a little bit of a downward pressure with Dash if people are selling off the profits that they're making, but that's really with any coin. With any coin that's got an increasing supply at the moment. Of course, that's pretty much all coins. So just delete these lines here and have a quick look. Yeah, so it kind of hit this quite a low point here, 0.021, and it hasn't gotten back down to that level. It seems to be finding a little bit of ground here, but at the same time we have this, if I move that red line down a little bit, we can kind of see a bit of a descending triangle there, which is not good. So the price, you know, could either break out lower, or we could see the price kind of break out up above this triangle, and the former would be more likely, just given the chart patterns. So that's another one that's not looking super great until next fortnight, where I have another look at it. Let's move on to Decreed now. And I really love drawing these lines on here, don't I? It astounds me how many different lines I've got written up from the last week. Ascending triangle there, broke out below when the price of Bitcoin collapsed, and now of course we're in this position where the price just seems to be heading lower and lower. So probably a better time to buy Decreed for a longer term position. I know that Doug from Intro to Cryptos.ca made a really good call here and caught this huge spike up, and I believe that he made some sell orders right at those top marks as well. So really good calls there. I'll put a watch on that. Not really sure. Let's move on to Dogecoin. I put a note here on Dogecoin that if it gets beneath 40k sats, to just buy that up, because it's such a well-established coin, and it seems to always have repeated run-ups to 80, 90 sats, sometimes 150 sats, crazy levels, and you know, comes back down to these sub 40 sat levels, and sometimes it stays there for a little while. I mean, I spoke about this more in depth last week, but you can see this. If this line here is what, 40 sats, frequently it's popped just beneath, maybe for you know, for a period of time, maybe a month, maybe on this particular occasion it was, you know, probably about 5 months that it was sub 40 sats. Here we've got another couple months. Here we've just touched it. Here we've just touched it, and of course now we're kind of maybe on this just downward trend again. Where can I pick up some Dogecoin? Can I pick it up at just 40 sats, or you know, can I continue to buy as it's on its way down to 20, waiting and ready for the next pop up to 80k sats? One thing's for sure, I'm not going to miss that again. I'm going to start buying up in small amounts Dogecoin as it comes back down. Let's move back to 4-hour candles now and try and see where we're at. So very small, kind of one there, bit of a 2 there, possibly a 3 there. So that's something to look out for. We have this 2 mark. It's really the point that we want to be waiting for that price to kind of start creeping up to this point here. And then as it breaks out above that, to make the buy before it does a larger takeoff. For me though, the biggest opportunity with Dogecoin is to watch to see if the price dares to dip back down to these 40, 35 sat levels for a longer term signal. I'll pop in the long-term bullish because I don't really have any short-term predictions on that one. Let's have a look at Ethereum now. Hey Max, how you doing? Good entry on BSV USD. I think I might dip some more. Okay, let's just pause the Ethereum. Let's just have a quick look at BSV USD. Go to Bitfinex. I guess like long-term wise, it's pretty difficult to get a good gauge of it. You know, we're working a very small amount of historical data. You know, very small chart patterns. You can look at this and kind of see a possible 1, 2, 3 bottom, but really that's kind of it's not really strong enough for me to think that that's going to carry out. You can see that there's, you know, these lows are going higher and higher, which is a good thing, but now it's kind of past that. So you might be right, Max. You might be right in a reduction in the price there. I mean, this is going off US dollar, so who bloody knows? But if we don't have a lot, again, we don't have a lot of points of reference for, you know, different support lines, but there's clearly some support around this area. It's had some resistance back over here, so I'll just point them out. Got one here. We've had some more resistance as the price has come back up here. We've had some support as it's tried to break below, come back up, and of course a lot more support around this level. So really, what I would be doing with this particular one, this is what is, I'd be looking at the next entry point beneath that, which would be around this level, somewhere in here where it's found the support previously and had some resistance, and I would be waiting for that price as it dips beneath this and has, you know, a solid red candle beneath that. So don't immediately, not as it's coming down, but as that candle closes, that 4-hour candle closes and it's kind of confirmed, I would be placing some buy orders right around this level here. That'd be around what, 60, 65, maybe possibly even as low as like 58 to 62 or something like that, and try and pick some up and maybe do like a short trade as that price bounces off of that, you know, selling it around 75 or something like that. I don't know, that's just one idea, but it does, you know, it does look like just the way that it's come out of this ascending triangle and the weakness, and we can look at that as well as this downward trend. Every time the price goes higher, it starts to come lower. So, you know, based on that, it's going to kind of continue that trek downwards. Be interesting to see what happens, man. So keep an eye on that. I'll check it out. Awesome. Thanks, Max. Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate it. Let's get back to Ethereum. That's what we're up to. Poloniex and Ether. I did say last fortnight that we were generally bearish, which was definitely correct, just based off of the fact that there was a 17th last fortnight where I made that prediction around about here, and the price has definitely come back down. And that's just based off of those chart patterns. The fact that it had broken beneath, very similar actually, Max, if you're still there, like very similar to the breakdown with BSV, except this is over a much longer term, where you've got this kind of flag. It's not really a bullish or a bearish flag, but just based on where the price is broken out lower, I made that prediction to say the price is probably going to continue lower, and that's what happened. So I was right on that occasion. Not always right, but occasionally I get one right. So where is it going to go from here, right? We've got support around this level where it seems to be bouncing off of it, but we need really more confirmation on that support line. We need that price to start turning around and for these EMAs to start crossing over. Until then, it seems like I'll only have to watch that. Let's go to Factum. Whoa, what's happened to Factum here? Something happened. Holy crap. Man, it's a shame I missed that one. 14. Whoa, nice. Around here, I put a watch on it just because it was breaking above, and my god, really just took off. I mean, this is just proof that there is a lot of money still to be made in crypto. I'm glad I marked these lines up here of the previous kind of resistance points, because I would have placed sell orders around that point. Sadly, I did not. Watch. Game credits now. Let's have a look. Yeah, that was definitely a generally bearish until next fortnight prediction, and that certainly rang true. Continued its downward sweep. It's kind of starting to come back up now a little bit. 1, 2, 3 bottom, kind of broke out above that. It's showing a little bit of strength. Those EMAs are crossing over as well. That's in the 4-hour candle. And now, of course, we've got some new resistance right around this point. So if we can see another confirmation above that line, then we might be able to see the price creep back up to kind of these levels. So really we need a move above, probably say 2,000 sats. And then greater than 2,000 sats, and we'll probably see a bull move to 2,500 sats or so, just because that's the next point of resistance. GNO, I think, is dead, and GNT. Wow, that's cool. Okay, nice. Look at this. So we have here, very nice, 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. Very strong supports, bounced off that twice, and now it's starting to come back up. Really wants to break out, doesn't it? GNT, that's going to be a generally bullish until next week. And just like I do every week, if there's a particular coin that I'm going to probably check out later and maybe buy some of, or sell some of, or do some action, I'll just pop a little asterisk in the action tab here. And I'll have a look at that later, because that chart looks a little bit delicious. And I might have to see if I can pick some up of those, if I've got some spare Bitcoin lying around. Alrighty. 17th. You can see this yellow line that I've popped in here, thinking the price may stay in this descending wedge, but it's gone ahead and jumped the gun and got above that. I don't know how I predicted that line to finish right around the same point of this resistance. Probably previous resistance points, but let's delete that. That is not a strong looking coin at the moment. That's definitely a watch. I wouldn't be buying into that just yet. I really think that the altcoins are starting to turn around. And yes, they're kind of reaching these new lows now, and the bottom is always very difficult to predict, but when they start to run up, it's going to happen quickly, just like it did all the other times. And that will hopefully mean that I'll be able to make some money off these investments. Generally bearish until next fortnight. Well, I mean, I guess I was right in one way because I made the prediction there, and the price definitely came back down. That's another watch. Lots of watches this week. It's a pretty uncertain chart patterns. I'm not too sure about them, but let's have a look at Litecoin, see if that's getting better. I did buy some Litecoin, I think, around this dip here. So it's come back down, starting to come back up again. What's happening here? So we've got this kind of big descending trend. Nothing really coming up yet. Wow. Seems to be widening slightly. Really, we need to get above this kind of descending trend line for Litecoin to start picking back up. And for that to happen, we kind of need to get a confirmation above this 0.008 or so. Equals a bull move. So if we can get that, if the price starts to move up above that 0.08, kind of this line here, we might see some brighter days for Litecoin. Alrighty, let's move on to Made. Hey Alfie, what's going on, man? I know you don't have a lot of time, man, so let's jump into, let's just have a look at, what is it, XLM, I think that's the same as Stellar. So let's have a quick look here, jump to that one. Lumens. How good does Lumens look like? Just throughout all the ups and downs of... It's really staying quite strong. And we have, you know, higher lows here. Every time the price comes back down, we have them higher than the last time. 1, 2, 3. Following that, you know, maybe we have something similar to that kind of wave pattern there. We have a resistance marker around this 4,400 or so. So as the price kind of starts to creep up, you don't want to be buying here, you want to be buying on the breakout, and as it comes back down to gain support. But it does look like right now that's a good buy, man. STR generally bullish on that one. Let's head back to MadeSafe coin now. Nice, man. Yeah, it looks a bit stable, for sure. Yeah, Max, totally with you, dude. That Lumens, it's showing strength. It's got something there, and the market is definitely saying that Lumens is fairly stable in a crazy crypto economy. Now on a MadeSafe coin. Now this is looking good as well. We have this chart pattern that I drew up last week that's still staying true, which is great. The price came up above, came back down to rest on this, and is now starting to take off. So my thought immediately is, I've already got MadeSafe, I bought some, is to look left on the charts and see where the previous resistance points are, and to mark a few out. And these are the points that I want to be selling portions, not all, but portions of it. So, you know, I might place a sell order around this mark, might place some more around this mark, might place some more around this mark. And that is looking like a nice chart. I'm going to copy paste the generally bullish until next fortnight on that one. And move on here to NAV. Beautiful. So I'll look at NAV coin now. I put a watch on that last week. I mean, what's happening with this coin? Very, very slow increasing trend, I guess, is a good thing. Lots of resistance around this mark. Fake out, breakout, tapped it several times. It's kind of almost an ascending triangle here. You can see, well, it is an ascending triangle, but it did break out lower. So maybe it'll reattempt that. Maybe we'll have this kind of follow this other trend line resistance. But one thing is for sure with NAV is that the resistance around 6,000 sats, when you break out above that, break above 6,000 sats equals a bull move. Now, if you're feeling risky, you might consider buying up at this lower price, with the understanding, of course, that you could lose it all. But you could wait, see what happens, see if the price starts to come up above these 6,000 sat marks. If that's the case, of course, happy days. All right, OMG. Well, yeah, it didn't take as long as I anticipated for this wedge shape to break lower. OMG had like a distribution through the Ethereum blockchain, I believe. Some of the coins were distributed to holders of Ethereum, so that probably drove the price down as people were selling all those coins. Let's put a watch on that until next week and have a look at rep now. Rep, yeah, I don't know. This looks a little boxy, maybe. Lots of resistance around, support rather, around this point 0.001, which is about 190k sats. Yeah, not too sure about that one. No wonder I put a watch on it last week. It's a confusing chart. So look at Sia coin now. Sia or Sia. Watch for the bend trade, I said. Watch for the bend trade. Oh, look at this. And the bend trade is happening like right now. So if you don't know what the bend trade is, basically you've got this box where the resistance has touched this resistance, it's hit this support, it's touched this resistance, it's touched this resistance, it's touched this resistance, hit this support line again. So it's hit these two, I guess, the channel several times. What happens is as it breaks out of that box, which it has here, the price tends to come back up to touch the box, which is exactly what it did, and now will head lower. So Sia coin is a strong sell signal there. Strong sell signal for Sia coin. I would, if I was holding any, I would be selling that because it hasn't gone up, done the upwards bend trade, it's done the downwards one. So this is why, if I delete this yellow line that I drew in last week and kind of redraw it over the price, this is what's going to happen. Some resistance around 69, and then it'll have a nice sharp drop. And if we wanted to sell and rebuy, let's have a look at the previous resistance marks, which would be around here. So if I was selling, I'd want to be selling now, which is essentially 72, 70, it's about 70 sats, and I'd be looking to rebuy around 49.50 sats, and possibly even keep some just in case the price goes lower down to these crazy low levels of like 25. So that's cool. I'm glad I picked that up. I'm gonna go put an asterisk here because I'm gonna go double check to see if I own any of that after this live stream, and I'll sell any if I do. Moving back to the 4-hour candle now. Sharp drop off in steam, much like other ones. Put a watch signal on that. Move on to storage. Storage. We have a 1, we have a 2. That's not really a 3 because it's gone lower and it's hit back down on this 1. So we have this, just basically a low level of support here. 1, 2, come back up for a bit. 3, 4 touches and starting to creep back up. But not a strong signal for that one. We've got a descending trend here as well, so price might kind of continue something like that. if it does break out above that yellow trend line, we might have something. So I'd be watching that for any breaks above this kind of, I don't know, 45 to 40. Let's just call it 47.5 or so. Equals possible bull run. We've already done STR, I think back around the made safe time, just because we skipped to it when Alfie was on. Hey, what's going on, Timmy? Always good to see you, brother. How you doing? Miss you, bro. Let's hang out. Let's eat some steak. Let's eat some meat. Because we are but men. Alrighty, strat. Whoa, gone crazy with the drawings there. Okay, watch for the bend trade with this one. Is that right? Oh, I'm still on STR, my bad. Let's go to strat, which is the one I should be watching for. This, here we go. Look, another opportunity for the bend trade. So if you missed Sia coin or Sia coin, go back and watch the analysis on that. I will soon, bro. I've been out all morning, Timmy. Been out driving around doing crazy stuff, and I gotta go get some coffee at lunchtime with a buddy. So it's a beautiful day, isn't it? Melbourne's such a beautiful place. It's so beautiful. Walk along the Yarra River. Oi, nice, man. Black Angus. Would you get, the Scotch or the Porterhouse? Tell me it's the Porterhouse. I love that strip of fat. Alright, back to this. If you're holding strat, I'd definitely be looking at a very similar analysis to what I just gave for Sia coin, which is it's looking very it's looking bearish, generally bearish. Generally bearish until next fortnight. Copy paste that one in there, and let's move on to VTC. Obviously, Porterhouse. VTC. Okay, finally we have what appears to be some sort of turnaround, and that's probably just because the price has come so low here that the market is like, alright, that is enough. So we have a 1, 2, 3 bottom here, we have the resistance marker there, we have a slight, breakout above. So we really need to keep that price around this 8,000. If we can kind of stay above 8,000 sats, we'll probably be looking at a bullish move. Let's call it possible bull run. XCP. And this one here looks good because it's broken above this resistance line. 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, and now broken up above. So I'd be looking for the price to come back down to kind of touch this 63k sats level before kind of taking off higher. So I'd be looking at buy signals. Well, buy. What would it be? Buy orders placed at 63 or something like that. I'm going to pop an asterisk there because I do want to check that out and possibly buy some counterparty. Does look good on the charts. Alright, Monero. So what's happening with Monero? We have a giant yellow line of a prediction that I made last week. And it seems to be coming true a little bit, but not super. It's slowly coming down. Still, still got this support around this kind of level, and a very slow trend line up, but huge resistance at 0.018. So that, let's watch and wait. Watch and wait. XPM. Coming to the end of the Poloniex trading run. If there's any other coins you want me to check out. Yeah, it has been hit a bit hard, Max. You're totally right, man. It's I I think it's probably one of the front runners when it comes to privacy coins. But you know, that said, of course, with all privacy coins, there's going to be a lot of resistance from a government point of view. So there's always going to be, you know, this question mark above whether government bureaucracy will get involved and ban or limit. Or I mean, obviously we know that, you know, long term you can't ban. It's not going to be possible, but short term it's certainly going to have, even medium term it's going to have effects on it. So what are we looking at now is XPM, and the prices just follow this channel down. Yes, it's resisting the downward pressure now, but still looks like it's got a little ways to go, so I'm generally bearish on that one. I will suss out TRX in one sec, man. I'll do that at the end. Just quickly, Ripple first. Nice, this is looking good. I do remember that I bought some Ripple. Back here I put a asterisk there. I mentioned rock bottom prices. That was back in November 3rd. Right here. Right here. And it's jumped up nicely since then. So continues to as well, which is nice to see. Price is coming back down a little bit now. The, you know, previous resistance markers, basically lining it up with this line here. It's not really moving for some reason. It's got some support around that level, so maybe we'll see the price come higher again. And it's gone up above this level before, and you know, back in the glory days of this crazy level. Of course, as the price of Bitcoin has come down, well, you know, these levels dollar-wise mean a lot less. But let's let's go back one there. Generally bearish on that one. Generally bullish rather on that one as well. All right, last but not least, Zcash, and then I'll check out TRX for you, Alf. Yeah, Max, you're right, man. Ripple and Stellar have always had this correlation. They've had it for quite a while, you know. But it's difficult to say which coin moves first, because if it was that easy, of course, everyone would be making money. You know, if Ripple was always the one that moves first and Stellar follow, then you know everyone would be jumping on the bandwagon. But they do have a strong correlation for sure. So I've got a bit of a bend trade opportunity with Zcash. 0.002 equals a bull run. Well, look, I think that prediction still remains, and I think we'll probably just end it on that if we can copy paste that across, because that's still very much remaining. It's going through this channel, if it can kind of get above this 0.022, we might see a bull move on that one. Let's see some TRX, man. I forget which market's the best, but let's have a look at Binance, just because that's probably one of the more popular ones. Wow, what's going on with TRX? Like nothing. It's fairly chill in comparison to other cryptos. Immediately trying to draw things on this just to kind of get an idea of where what I think's happening with it. Resistance, support, some more lines. Definitely has some resistance around this, you know, 380, 390 sats marks around this level here. So if we zoom right in, we can be like, well, I mean, that's the price is coming up, it's resisting, it's starting to come back down, and possibly we'll do something along those lines. Just going to delete that box because it's a little bit deceptive there. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Where are the support lines? You've got some support here. 1, 2, again right here before it broke lower. Support here as it broke above, came back down. Now it's come back down and touched that. That's looking good. That's generally, you know, fairly bullish, I'd say. Just because very short term wise, of course, we've got this 1, 2, 3 formation. So as the price comes up, but really to get TRX to any sort of certainty, we need that price to come back up above 380 and stay there. We need to kind of hit around here and kind of just stay up above it, and then we can maybe see some moves on it. Alrighty, that'll do it, my brothers. Thank you for tuning in, and Crypto Trader Vader's calling it a day until next fortnight, and I'll see you guys for some more analysis then. Alrighty, peace.